It's working. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nice to have Jane as chairperson today, so a little bit different. Appreciate everyone here today for this special Shotsuki service. I always like to take a moment, I really appreciate the Shotsuki service and when our Shotsuki families are able to come up and you see them come one by one to offer incense. And in that way, you kind of get to know who the families are, and who they're connected with, and who they have lost. And I think it brings everyone closer together. And here in particular, we have Shotsuki and the family service that are combined. Some temples, they separate those. So only the Shotsuki families go to the Shotsuki service, and they have a family service or Dharma school service that is separate. And when we are able to combine it, I think it's, you really get this sense that we all take turns in supporting each other and going through these difficult periods. So I really do appreciate that. So we would like to read the Shotsuki names for the month of March. Please come up in Oshoko during the reading. We have a lot of names. The print is very small. Akinaga, Teruo, Arai, Infant, Baba, Haruye, Baba, Helen, Date, Chio, Dylan, Toshie, Dor, Jean, Eves, Ruby, Fukayama, George, Fukuma, Yone, Fujita, Gonshiro, Furuno, Shigeru, Greenwell, Linda Meyer, Hashimoto, Noriaki, Higake, Hitoko, Higashi, Otomatsu, Hirakawa, Samuro, Hirao, Shichibei, Hitomi, Tomoe, Hiyama, Eikichi, Ishida, Sachiko, Ishikawa, Santaro, Iwahashi, Noboru, Iwahashi, Setsuko, Iwahashi, Shizuko, Kaito, Seijiro, Kakimoto, Misao, Kakimoto, Ochio, Kamiji, Infant, Yuzuru, Kawabata, Setsuko, Kawabata, Toshiro, Kawakami, Chiono, Kitajima, Infant, Ruriko, Koga, Saburo, Konishi, Mitsue, Konishi, Toshio, Kono, Tom, Kuge, Teru, Kusama, Asao, Kuwano, Asano, Asono, Kuwano, Denzaburo, Kuwano, Infant, Ken, Maeda, Rutaro, Masuda, Muneto, Matsui, Kojiro, Matsuo, Hisao, Matsuura, Sachi, Mori, Takeo, Mune, Infant, Mitsue, Murakoshi, Infant, Shizuo, Naito, Teruko, Nagahisa, Hideno, Nakagawara, Hisakazu, Nakamura, Infant, Mitsuko, Nakano, Etsuko, Nakano, Kenji, Nakano, Infant, Masami, Narahara, Joan, Etsuko, Niizawa, Yoshi, Nishi, Infant, Sadako, Nishi, Sarasuke, Nishi, Teisuke, Nishiyama, Takino, Nomura, George, Masaki, Nomura, Seki, Okamoto, Bunjiro, Okamoto, Infant, Toshio, Okami, Jinzaburo, 大津、吉野、貞宗、片、坂口、千代江、添色、インフィント、秀美、ジェナ、重本、上演、塩田、修造、曽我、沢、田淵、インフィント、金子、高木、熊五郎、高山、博士、田島、彦一、立山、金蔵、寺尾、久し、テシ、マティルダ、坪井、インフィン、正地、土屋、正し、内山、愛介、うつろぎ、守、バー、和田、淳、和田、吉江、山上、吉右衛門、山下、松蔵、山下、武志、山下、敏子、山本、勝野、大和、哲夫、柳、富、矢野、時代。These are the Shotsuki names for the month of March. If there are additions or corrections, please notify the office.
Thank you, Sensei. We will now have sutra chanting, starting with the Sambujo on page 24, followed by the Mirakyo on 103. Thank you.
Namando, 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 namando.
Alameda Kyo on 103.
国上宗病慶空よ他方10万6分即位直時伝統本国本直教業シャリ法国ら国土長寿領税空毒将軍武士シャリ法李国上部修十奇妙合式市長逆国着オムシャリ下領民が不明市長継承州長長夜六時水和下門五音年長東根合力七宝大門八正道門行政東方行動修上門税音に外出念仏年法年祖シャリ法の祭り市長実税祭東証書所医者が義務国道部三幕州シャリ法合部国道商務三幕道市明家教部実税所出張改正阿弥陀仏力量法温泉流園芸少佐シャリ法義部国土利福水道小法50流法ラボ水味妙音利尿百戦十学同時空差門税音社会時年上念仏年法年創始心シャリ法大部国土長寿尿税武徳将軍
Please stand for the first gatha, Shindan's family, on page 128 and 129 in the White Book. We'll be practicing this song for next week's celebration in Palo Alto.
The
Please remain standing for the three treasures on page 8.
How did that feel? I think you're improving. I felt a little more comfortable. Yeah. So, okay. Three treasures on page 8. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in the spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Okay, thank you very much. Now we'll have our Dharma message for today. Takes a different coordination with the chairperson. This is great. Before I begin the Dharma message, I do want to acknowledge this. Last weekend we had our Buddhist Churches of America National Council meetings. It's an annual meeting, and representatives from Alameda and from the Enmanji Temple were able to participate. And I always like to take a moment to express how grateful I am. There's so many people work on all these different committees and things that are involved at the national level and throughout all of the United States. And we have guests come from representing the Shin Buddhist group in Canada and Hawaii, so they are able to observe and participate and take back notes. You know, we go to theirs as well in Hawaii, but they take back notes and they're able to join in on some of the discussions, and it's very, very fruitful. Wherever I've been, I always try to let you know what happens there. I remember being at a temple when I said something like this, and I was told afterwards by someone a little bit younger than myself, and said, you know, that's the first time our minister said something about BCA in such a positive manner. And you know, it's kind of sad. I mean, we have this big teamwork going on, and you know, we don't want to just be our own little country club temple, but we are connected to this whole network, not only in the United States, but worldwide, and connected to Honganji in Japan, and all of this. You know, there's so many people working that we don't get to see. So much that happens behind the curtains and all, and I'm always humbled and so impressed by everything that happens in all those committees. So we can all be very proud of them and be very proud of being a part of this network. So today I wanted to talk about this parable of the moon. Okay, so the parable of the moon is in the Nirvana Sutra, and so we don't hear about the Nirvana Sutra too much in our Shin Buddhism. It's not one of our main sutras. We usually point to the larger sutra, the smaller sutra, the Amida Kyo that we just chanted, and these are our three main sutras for Shin Buddhism. But the Nirvana Sutra is pointed out quite often by Shinran in the Kyogyo Shinsho. And our good friend, Professor Mark Blum with IBS and UC Berkeley, he's been working on this major project to translate the Nirvana Sutra into English. And I'm not sure of the numbers, but it's like he's worked on it for 10 years or something, and he's halfway done. You know, it's this incredible work. He says, yeah, my friends ask me, why are you doing this? and just amazing. And through his works, you know, he works with scholars in Japan that are with Higashi Honganji, Otani University, and he works with scholars in our Ryukoku University. And through that, there's like this cross-pollination. Usually they don't talk to each other all that much, right? So he's kind of forcing that hand. And then, because he's part of UC Berkeley, so let's have these three major universities work together. So Otani, Ryukoku, UC Berkeley, and through the connection to IBS, IBS gets connected in there as well. So it uplifts IBS, and it makes all this communication of these scholars in the United States and Japan all working together, and it's through this very major project that he's working on. So we invited Professor Blum up to Idaho, Oregon one time, and just nice to have a chance to know him a little more personally. So, in this parable, they're talking about the moon, and they say, people say, the moon has set, or the moon has risen, right? And we notice the changes in the moon, you know, but in fact, the moon doesn't come and go. It's always there, fully and shining roundly. And depending on our perspective, we think it has set, or we think it has risen, right? So it's our perspective that we think we see these changes in the moon. So through that, in the Nirvana Sutra, they're saying the moon is like Buddha, right? It's always there, always shining, but we are not able to see it, acknowledge it, recognize. You know, we don't get the full view of the picture because of our limited perspective. There might be a full moon, there might be a crescent moon, and all of these changes, you know, we keep tabs of, but the fact of it is, it's always there, perfectly round and shining, okay? It doesn't change. So, like Buddha, the moon is there, unchanging, okay? And so the moon appears everywhere, whether we're in a crowded city like San Francisco or a sleepy little village, in the mountains, on the river. You might see a reflection in our Alameda Temple Pond. Okay, I've seen that very beautifully sometimes. You might see a reflection in a bucket of water, or on a dewdrop. You can see a reflection of the moon, and so it changes, right? We might take a hike for miles and miles, and the moon follows us, and so we don't always notice it, like because of our limited vision, our limited perspective. But the Buddha, the moon, like the Buddha, is always there, unchanging. Okay, so this is the story of the moon, sharing this kind of perspective. And so I wanted to add some of my own stories. Many of you know, Charmin and I have this horse named Shadow that stays in Castro Valley, and we go there daily to take care of her. And initially we had two horses, Half Moon and Shadow. They were very young when we got them, and Half Moon got hurt and was cut, and so we couldn't bring them home right away. And Charmin would go to visit these two horses, and they're little, they're small, and Shadow would see Charmin coming towards her friend Half Moon, and she'd stand like this. Don't come closer to, I don't want you to be, you know, protecting Half Moon. So he's standing between Charmin, and Half Moon. So she couldn't get there to get close to Half Moon, right? And Half Moon was a little bit older, a little bit bigger, and so Shadow was kind of like Half Moon's shadow, right? Traveling together all the time. And so things happen, and Half Moon is no longer with us. But every time we're driving, we see a half moon. Charmin reminds me, that's Half Moon's half moon. So, yeah, okay. And that's kind of our memory. So another moon adventure. You know that some of you know, I like to go out early in the morning and run on the Alameda beach. And when there's a full moon, I think we've all experienced this. When there's a full moon, it's so bright sometimes, depending on how many clouds there are. Maybe you're hiking on a mountain path or something, and you don't need a flashlight, don't need anything. It's just so bright. Wow. Maybe you're on a farm, just walking in the orchard, but it's so bright because of the full moon that you can see everything very, very well. So this one time, I'm there early in the morning, it's still dark, and when you run in the morning, it's like the tide has come up and it's gone, and so there's no footprints or people's stuff from being there the day before, and it's like a chalkboard that's been erased, right? It's just clean. Maybe like going into a basketball gym, walking out on the floor, no one else is there yet, right? It's just clean. And so it's really, especially when the tide is out, it's just a big expanse of clean sand. And as I'm running along, I could see my shadow. You never see your shadows. What's going on? And I was wondering, what is that light? There's usually not this kind of light. And then it's the moon, full moon, the brightest full moon. And so it's wow. And so it's directly on my back. I have to look at it to see, but my shadow is on the ground, right? So my shadow, and I'm running, and it's like I'm a dancer on stage, and the spotlight is on me, da-da, right? And I'm running along. It's so clear, and I'm noticing it makes me smile, and I'm looking at it. I could watch myself run, and it's kind of like I'm playing with Buddha, right? I'm playing with the moon. The moon is playing with me and showing me all of these things. It's so much fun that I can remember that. I'm playing with Buddha on the Alameda beach, okay? So a different time, a couple weeks later, I'm running on the same beach. It's a little bit later in the day, so it's starting to get light. And this is not a moon story, but a crab, small crab, came up onto the sand, and I noticed it way over there, and a couple seagulls noticed the crab too, right? So two seagulls go to check out the crab, and the crab notices the seagulls are checking him out, and he stands up on his hind legs, got his pinchers up like this, like defiant, right? Don't you dare come and get me, right? And I'm reminded of like the Rocky movie, like, I'm still standing here, I'm still standing here. And right, and he has his pinchers raised up like this. And so impressive. This life and death drama is happening just as I'm going by, right? And probably I went by, and I'm not sure what happened, but there's a good chance he was breakfast, because he was only like 2 inches tall, 3 inches tall, and you know the seagulls get pretty hungry and pretty demanding. So I didn't see the end of that story, but even seeing something like that reminded me of the parable, the young Prince Siddhartha, when he saw the soil getting turned over. Bird comes down and takes that worm from the soil and flies off, and he's noticing this life and death struggle even among right, birds and worms in the ground, and all of this stuff happening. So in reflection of that, here at the temple, we lost Master Kano, right? Everyone expected to see him again. And we didn't think that he would not be here to take his seat again, to come into the temple again. But we didn't. We couldn't. The family and the doctors worked so hard with all their might to change the course, but they couldn't. And so we lose Mas. Locked in their focus, they don't notice the moon. When we are focused, we don't notice. We get too busy with everyday life. We don't notice the moon, right? The Buddha, still there, and it's gonna reappear if we trust, if we notice, right? So, in this parable of the moon, it said that this was at the passing of the historical Buddha, when he was going to change from his physical form and enter into nirvana. Okay, I'm leaving this world. From now on, you should rely on what I have taught. Don't look to me, my physical being, but look to the teachings that I have shared with you. Okay? So what he left us, the teachings of wisdom and compassion, is always there, like the moon, following us or guiding us, disappearing, reappearing, like the moon, always reappearing. So sometimes we get way too busy, we get so many things to take care of, we don't think of the Dharma, the Buddha, all the time. But when we do come back here, I think we reconnect and we able to see again that Buddha is still here. The Dharma teachings are still a part of it, grounding our lives, showing us how to evaluate each situation and help us to move through life. So this is my message for today. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namada. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message today. We'll now have our second gatha. Please stand for Ondok Song 2 on page 220. It's in the purple book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namada.
Just want to thank everybody who helped today in the preparations. I thank Reverend Dennis, of course, and the people who set up the YouTube video for today, and also the people who did the altar flowers and brought in the bupan and the fruit. Special thank you to those who brought in special offerings today for Sosuke Hoyo service. Do we have any announcements? Just an announcement that next Sunday we will not be having service here. We'll all be at the Palo Alto service for the celebration at the 850, 800. And those of you who cannot go to Palo Alto, it will be live streamed on the Palo Alto site. I think that's it. We're going to close this morning's service. And Reverend Fujimoto has a few words to say.
Mention the chicken teriyaki.
Oh, yeah. Sold out.
Oh, okay. We're not gonna mention the chicken teriyaki because you don't have a ticket and you don't get any. Okay, thank you very much. Let me check the incense, make sure it's lit, and then we can all come up and Oshoko one more time and go down to the social hall to visit.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have learned it over here, and it's just that
It's okay. Yeah, I think so.
He's done all kinds of things. He had a huge avocado tree that we used to climb up and pick avocado to be successful in doing. Yeah, good guy. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
All right.
Holy mackerel, you just mentioned losses and everything like the scoop and everything, you know. So, I just wanted to give an okay for you. I've got this I'll do a bit of print of it. Okay, so I didn't know if I was in the folder, okay, so welcome, you know, and people don't know what the folder is, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you, Winnie, for doing the music for us. I think we're starting to sing better a little bit.
Yeah, no, it sounds better. I can hear at least.
Before we went to the
Am I going too fast or too?
Oh, no. I could hear voices today too. It's like, oh, this is good. It's next week. I know.
But you're doing okay?
Okay, how are you doing?
Okay. Going along here. I've had so many things to run today that
It's such a nice bag.
it's waterproof with the tops down.
You can run this way with it,
Yeah,
tilted a little bit, holding everything inside.
It's raining up where we were, and then it was sunny down here. It was good.
Yeah, downpours. Yeah. Yesterday when we went last night when we went, you could tell it really had poured out there because her fur dries funny sometimes, you know, like when it's been really wet and it's really just juku wet. Then when it dries, it has these little blotches on it. But if you go like this, then it fluffs it again. But it was just like, oh, hey, you've been playing out in the rain today. And sometimes she comes in and she rolls on her wood shavings, and you could tell because she has little wood shavings all over her. Yeah, cute. Are all your cameras off?
No.